Ok. Es hora de seguirle a la segunda transmisión de esta cosa. Si bien me salté el primer capítulo cuando empecé a transmitir esto, yeah, I have to remember that this game is in English, so yeah, this transmission is gonna be in English as well. So, if I already jumped the first episode of this, it's because I was in the middle of this one before trying to play it, and I kinda realized that you cannot imitate the first time you play a Phoenix Wright, so why not stream it? At this point in time, we already were in the middle of the second investigation where well, this stream actually has a bit of spoilers already at this point, so I guess it's okay. Basically, we are in the middle of having lost the main character's friend. And well, this is double music there. And let's see what happens after this. We finally met Sherlock Holmes. Yes, I'm gonna call it Sherlock Holmes, it's kinda easier. Basically, we're still in the investigation. So it's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilled on the floor. And they spelled the Russian word for Wardrobe. It does seem to be an ambiguous pointer to you, Naruto-san, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly ambiguous, it should have just spelled out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words, or word, in Russian. Which begs the question of who did write it. This is Osanaga-san. He is... well... this guy is supposed to be an undercover official. He gave us a lot of trouble in the first case, and now he's undercover here as one of the salesmen. What? Nicolina Papilloma? She's in the cab. Oh, right. We discovered that the person on the next cabin of this boat, because we're actually in a boat, is a Russian woman that was supposed to have been lost in Russia. She escaped from the country with a very expensive crown, and she's just trying to survive on her own. We don't know exactly what she has to do with the case yet, but a lot of the characters connected this room to the other one because of the wind passage that is on the top left on the screen right now. And we discovered that she's in the boat as a stowaway, and we're actually stowaways as well. We are going to England as stowaways because the one that was actually invited to go to England was not us but our friend. Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respected valid fan wouldn't know that graceful thing? Wow, I was sleepy already last time because I didn't realize that he was a valid fan. Also, every time he coughs, he almost dies, as you can see on the blood on the right side. He's beat up right now because, well, he allowed us to investigate and we're the suspect. Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is related to the case at least. Huh? How? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, now I've definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation in here proven fruitful? I need to give her a rougher accent. Even in the trailers, she sounds like a Japanese person trying to learn English. If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Capcom police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. Ah, there is one thing. I have a small piece of information for you. Huh? What? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. I gave her Russian, she's so hard to the voice. Oh, what is it? Oh, okay. What is this new information you have, Detective? Inspector? It's this. The Bury's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh! Kazuma's post-mortem report. Kazuma-sama. Oh, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical... damage to the cervical vertebra is what's written in the report. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. So there were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system after all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound would be left. I can't make a Japanese accent. Poor Kazuma. The Great Detective. Oh, right! So basically, Holmes is pretty damn dumb. Yes, he gets to the correct assertion in a way, but it doesn't make sense until you actually correct his line of logic. And yes, that was actually quite fun to do last time. Oh, Mr. Schultz was here, was he? Yes. He seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? By the way, pretty much every streamer that plays a Phoenix Wright game gives his voice to the main character. Actually, now that you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted. It's shoe polish! Was all he said. Shoe polish? Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there, here. It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass, do you see? Ah, perhaps he was talking about this brick color mark, do you? Ah, yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is it, Susato-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very tartan hood. Tartan? A sort of dark brownish red then. Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repair them for him. Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffle on the floor? Okay. We now have some clues. I need to remember what happened because I was so tired last time that I just kept going without actually stopping to check on my own. Oh, wait. The shelf is new. All the books provided for passengers occupying... yeah, I'm gonna move this for a bit. There it is. This way I can check both chats if something happened. Okay. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. I'm giving her a Russian accent. I have more characters that I can make Russian, and I'm making her a Russian character. Oh yes, and you taught them. Oh. I wonder if I can make an English accent. Oh yeah, and you tightened them up, didn't you? That sounds more Australian than English. You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage. But it really wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway. A bit more feminine, a bit more feminine. Well, anyway, I feel much better now they're neatly lined up. And I lost all of the Japanese accent. I can relax when things are untidy. Okay. The rules. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Borea. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. So by bringing her pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules. She called it her friend, didn't she? Yes, although we don't know what form this friend takes us yet. I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin. A friend. There's more to this than it seems. We pretty much check everything. But now I think about it, maybe there's stuff that I need to present. I can present. Okay, let's see. Male, of course, Far Eastern, he's Japanese. Between 1 and 2. Damage to the cervical vertebra resulted in instant death. The victim's neck was almost certainly broken as a result of a strong blow to the area. No obvious injuries or traces of poison. Okay, that's simple and clean. What do you have to say? You! Where did... Wait, he's actually Russian. You! Where did you go? Oh! Sorry, I just went to the next door cabin to the... Why? Who gave you permission for... Why? And no, actually my Russian version of accent is more fitting to the other guy. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Well... I mean... Seaman Hosonaga did. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him in Tapol and throw him in cold room. There it is! I just have to make every R be incredibly hard. Let's go back to guard on the door. I hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san. Oh, right. Move. Let's go to the first class passageway. It's pretty much the only place that we can go right now. In action. Ah! Look, Naruhodo-san! Seaman Stroganoff has gone! Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us. All these Russians' names are impossible to remember. Yeah, they're gonna be a nightmare. I actually don't know if that was male or female voice, so yeah. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Oh god, I know who it is. Oh god, how am I gonna make this level of British accent? The great detective way. This Caroline, I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us.
Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate.
Definitely. Before that stringy nut crewman comes back.
It's strong enough, not stringy nut.
Okay. Oh god, of course he's here. Let's see what he has to say. Yes! That's definitely Sherlock.
Oh, it's Mr. Holmes, look!
Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you?
He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself.
Yes, I'm definitely enjoying this game, you know. Also, if you want to have your chat show off, you wouldn't have to go into the Twitch channel right now, because, you know, it happens. I still have not been able to fuse both chats, but I'm still gonna try to pay attention to both chats. I did the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us?
Or he's simply in extremely high spirits.
Yes, there were times, I'm sure you do. Oh, there's music. When the jar bit off more than it could chew, and through it all when there was doubt, it's lucky Sherlock was about. Excuse me? I solved it all and stood tall. I did it the great detective way. I'm pretty sure that this is a reference, and I don't know the song yet. Okay, I'm gonna say Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes! Ah! What is it? You want to fight him? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and it was just about to reach the climatic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is a good time as any. I very neatly... He's a moron! I very neatly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. But could you put those fists away? God. He's hilarious, I love him.
Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you.
Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Yeah, I'm not going to... How do you remove a person from the chat? Okay, let's see. Because even though I know that I'm not famous, I don't want bots here. There it is. Mini cameo fight. Oh, okay. I guess he doesn't exist. Oh well. Let's keep going.
Oh, yes, the ship's log.
And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 AM this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Oy. Which means there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun! You've been utterly blinded by it! Oh my god, that was a great joke. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman of stands sentry in the first-class passageway. And he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, wait, really? Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes?
Nothing to report.
Precisely. But simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is leadership blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. So he was not here.
What do you mean?
Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post.
What kind of circumstances? What happened?
What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribbling nothing to report in the log. I actually thought that he was a dumb man, but he's actually much smarter than I thought. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. The ship's log has been... Okay, I need to realize what I need to read and what I don't. Okay. Now, that deduction was worthy of a great detective. And yeah, it actually was. Oh, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes... Sholmes. Brilliance. Are you happy now, compadre one? Oh! Ouch! What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. He has a headache? Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought.
It's just... well, I feel the same.
Sorry?
Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing.
I'm pretty sure that the ship break. And fast. The books are have fell over, they have a headache, some of them are dizzy for some reason. At 2 AM something happened. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that Kazuma fell over. Oh, you too? A cabin on the SS Buria. Famed Russian ballerina Nikolina Pavlovna is hiding out in here. She's on the run from her homeland. Let's keep going. Okay, it is working. I was wondering for a second if the stream had stopped or something, but it seems to be working. Okay, let's keep it up. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Oh, where's she gone?
Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. That's not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can.
I suppose you're right. For Kazuma's sake.
Not just for Kazuma-sama.
What do you mean?
It can't be long now until we arrive at port. In Hong Kong. I don't want you to be on these handcuffs when we get there.
Really?
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san. By yourselves if we have to.
Oh, this is one of the boys' lines. Yes, we will. Ah, yes. They're displaying this coming too. Look, the SS Burias rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
I suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. Their special friend, I mean.
I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. It's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. Oh god, that thing is open. And I am beginning to think that this thing is actually a snake.
I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard.
Oh yes, so do I. All the books have toppled over together. Look, every single one.
Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though.
It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Kazuma's cabin.
Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase.
I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company?
Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your interpreter.
Knuckle over in a fit of rage. She was not even here! Not everything bad that happens on this ship is because of me, you know! Yeah, I was not even here!
Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open!
It's completely empty inside. But according to the Great Detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there.
Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret.
Because you're not alone to bring animals aboard the SS Buria. Bleh. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. More to the point, where is it now? Ah, oh god. God, I know where it is! So this ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door.
Yes. Although what a fool shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room.
Ah, maybe it's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise alarm?
Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning.
That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. Did I really just try to poison an alarm?
What's that?
Shut down the engines immediately! Vessel sighted a quarter-mile forward! Full stop! Hard to starboard! All hands, brace for impact! Uh-oh. What the?
I think we're about to crash into another ship! I can't stand! Susato-san, hold on to me! Ah! Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san.
It looks like we avoided a collision. I think. Wait.
I think.
Yes, the ship has come to a full stop.
Oh my goodness! What about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance! Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosanaga. Oh, okay. Inspector Hosanaga, I need to make more... Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The bolt? Look at that! The door's bolted! Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it! Oh my god! Yes! Yes, they break hard when... They break hard last night.
No, I didn't touch it!
Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books! Oh my god. Why does it start to make sense? I hate that this makes sense. Oh my god. Just one thing. I need to... okay. So that's how I clean a message in Twitch. Got it.
They're just like where they were before again. Naruhodo-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in?
I'd better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Oh boy. I wasn't that far from the nets to be continued last time. I should just have kept going. And save. I know Lucagin says that you don't save in an active LP, but this is a stream. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. I have a bad feeling about this. The other room is gonna be closed. Joe! Okay. Zangief, boys. Zangief.
Mother Russia! There it is! You! What are you doing in Mas Papa's quarters?
Oh, you both look unhurt.
Good. Yes, we're fine. Thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship.
Yes, it appears to have been a false report though.
Are you kidding me? Somebody just made the call.
Huh? How did that happen?
There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop.
Everything is chaos! Passengers screaming! Crew are running everywhere!
This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see! Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked devil! There is an old black! You're devil! Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is a first. You opened my traveling case! How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it! That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector!
Yes?
Arrest this man! I know he did! He's criminal! It is not enough that he has killed a man.
Oh, he stole away as well! If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe?
I'm shouting really hard, aren't I? Yeah. I'm gonna lower this a bit because, oh my god, am I actually making myself way too... Oh god, thank god I have a bit of a suppression gate. Thank god, because this is what actually a bit too much.
Take him away! He's trespassing as well as everything else!
Stowing away, trespassing, killing! She's right! You're devil!
It doesn't look good, does it?
There is cell below deck! Throw him in! Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong! They will give you straight police!
Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Rosanaga, is there nothing you can do?
This is Russian. This is Russian. This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options.
This is terrible.
This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Also, I need a tea. I am starting to understand why Lucagin always goes for tea. Give me a second while I put... And we're back. I put some water to heat because I can finally understand just how hard it is to narrate and stream at the same time. It's very, very hard. Yeah, that's my throat. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, what we were saying? This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution immediately. I actually want to say this. I just need to keep calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigate. Don't touch my things!
You want me to show you where crawfish hibernates?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think you're doing?
Wow, everyone's attacking me! And I just started to think she was my friend! I actually thought that he was the one that was hitting him. Okay.
Isn't there anyone who can help me out of this mess?
Okay, let's see. Are you kidding me? What is he doing there? Okay, let's see. Just before I activate his cutscene, you got yourself into a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was just so desperate to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now this has happened, I'll have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to rescue me from this crisis. Yeah, I figure who is it gonna be. Please, just give me a little more time.
I do nothing for you, except show you way to prison cell.
Thanks, but no thanks.
But I'm innocent, I didn't kill anyone.
And trespassing? And stowing away? Well, you know, sometimes life can lead you down to some initial avenues and, well...
Enough! You guilty! Ship's cell is only place fit for you.
Come on, there has to be someone! Let's see what she says.
Miss Pavlova, can I get out?
Listen, I'm sorry that I was knocking here without your permission, but
get out now!
We just need to investigate. Okay. I cannot read Russian, sorry guys. It's no use. She's not going to listen. I need to find someone who will. Yep. There's only one person crazy enough to listen to my worries right now. What the? What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes? And he has a freaking crowd. Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Is that the voice that I gave him? I have not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not. This isn't mere tomfoolery, boy. Oh no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? My dear, what? I need to listen to a version of it. I know what to do. Lines. Voice line. Oh. A moment of your time, please. The water's hot. And back in action. Let's see. Whoops. I know what to do. This month. Give me a sec. Okay, now I know what kind of voice I can give this character. Perfect, isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. Ow! I wish to determine if it would bend that coincident looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. Okay, this feels much better and easier on my throat. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. I pretty much have to talk with my lips as if they were in a kissing face. That is pretty much perfect for this character's voice. Oh my god, it actually works. It actually works. It feels much better also. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. And yeah, it actually makes sense.
What is to report? Speak!
An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes! The case of the curious murder that took place last night, here on this vessel, the steamship Buria, has been solved. By me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. Okay? This is gonna be a pile of bullets. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. This is gonna be hilarious. I'm gonna love it and hate it at the same time.
Ha! You have solved it?
Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing student boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. I dare you. It is this stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's
It's what's called a log room mystery in detective stories.
Ah! Log room!
That is point! The room was locked.
Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the ball could have been run across from outside the... Okay, I kinda got the kind of tone I get. There's no way the ball could have been thrown across from the outside cabin. You're all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all.
What?
Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted room. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gives open mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator, man. Ventilator?
Gah, 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 gah. You think this is funny? I cannot even put arm through that hole.
Then again, it's because you have huge arms. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. I kinda like this guy. Yes, that is the reason. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible! Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through that ventilator.
Mr. Sholmes, do you mean?
Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary?
123, I can hear a faint whistling sound.
135, what looks like some sort of speckle band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madame. I really don't like speaking in this dulcet tone voice. But what does it mean? What is this speckle band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Oh god, this is gonna be the snake. It's gonna be a snake, right? It's a little snake. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, for I am ready. What I'm about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Ah! What the? I knew it! I called it! It was clearly a snake! Oh my god! That is kinda terrifying. Allow me to introduce you all. Yeah, I need to, again. I kinda got the tone. Allow me to introduce you all to the band, the Speckle Band. A snake? Indubitably. Oh my god, I actually was able to say indubitably. Mr. Sholmes? Just one thing? Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more strippy, wouldn't you say? Hmm?
Yes, you're right. In this case, you'd have to call it the stripped band, wouldn't you?
both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall?
Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly?
I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova?
I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me.
There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life.
No!
She's turned as white as a ball of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asugi. It looks like he can speak with that snake collar on his head. I kinda like him like this much more. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long thread in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Yay! I love it! The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Intruder's identity. Conclusion? Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. Okay. And it is that very pain that evidenced your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole the victim's cabin in the portious night? Why, naturally, it was a friend which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the reading serpent we see before us. Is the burly man? Is a burly man. And yet that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's writing observations on the night in question of a speckled band. Whereas regrettably, this specimen markings do not fit the description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was the sight that fell upon the victim's side last night?
No! Don't look at me! This has nothing to do with any of this!
Ah, but it does. You have to answer to this quandary, even now hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you're trying to but fail to conceal can only be the snake's slug skin. Evidently, after this double and horrid crime, this was deadly friend of yours shed its original skin. No?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin. I just realized that I don't have to lower my voice volume, just change the shape of my mouth. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared that the young blind gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled paint. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake, whose markings change each time it's lost its skin. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. I don't like this. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the great desire of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as a fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime.
Oh no! How could there be?
Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost but not quite imperceptibly punctured wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend.
This makes no sense!
There is no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you choose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that troubling case. It's gonna be the trash can behind, isn't it? When we first met in the cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt.
You don't!
It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend.
The train? The train?
Indeed. You'd put the serpent through the ventilator and wait. After a period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You wouldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for sign of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training?
It's not true!
Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fang at once. And its venom would course through the victim's spine, veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt, my logic is infallible. There was no poison in his body. And snake poison does leave a huge mark. And there were no marks in the body, so yeah. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deductions of the speckled band. Yeah, I can perfectly tell why they didn't want to use Sherlock Holmes here. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the other floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You've solved the mystery! Amazing! Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Sherlock Holmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. You're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, isn't it, girl? Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Jones? But of course. What is in your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, first of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madame. And reptiles, don't drink milk. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some sort of other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. He couldn't have heard the freaking whistle. Oh. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal the snake by whistling. She's actually smarter than I thought. But madame, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears? These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless! Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Jones! There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should tread harder! Please don't be angry with me, Mr. Schultz. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator... I don't even know where to start with this moron. Even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. Oh my god! He looks so sad! And capture? Yes, because this is hilarious to watch! I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Shon's latest deduction and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down to your wrist again. What? You've done it again! Your handcuffs are gone! Where did they go? Fear not, I shall see them restored after work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Curse correction. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. Okay, let's see. Moments ago, she claimed his death has nothing to do with her. It doesn't have anything to do with her. Yet we cannot deceive her. Your aching heart smarts with pain. She does have a pain expression in her face.
Yes, that is true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death, which is weighing heavily on her mind.
But you're not sure Mr. Holmes had read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then?
Let's take a moment and really look closely, very closely at Miss Pavlova.
Let's see. She really does look troubled.
Yes, it's hard to believe she's putting that expression on to fool us.
If you look closely, it's almost like she's actually staring at something.
At what do you think?
Perhaps something's physically causing her pain. We should have a closer look. Left ear.
She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells.
Oh, what's that? There's something dangling down from her ear.
Ah, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it?
Women do seem to like adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears, it seems.
Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san.
The right ear.
She has such blah 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 blah
Little pink shells. Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear. An earring.
Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off.
Okay, I was not expecting to find this part of information.
So now all that's left is the clasp part that attaches to the ear. If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed it's broken.
Let's see. And there it is.
Oh! Naruhodo-san! Look! That looks like a very painful wound.
It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently too.
Well, whatever scratch here doesn't appear to be around here.
And that is actually quite interesting. Snakes don't have claws.
Yes!
Yes, when you recall those horrible events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed. A simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night?
When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse.
And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of these intruders that stole into the victim's cabin on the previous night? Why, naturally, it was the freight with which you boarded the vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the written serpent we see before us. That is not the seaman! He's another stowaway! And the original seaman has been, I don't know, sent somewhere? It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by his friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they?
No, they
they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which class might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of these friends of her? We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Oh my god. The snake is not his. Oh my god. I have a feeling that it was the zip teapot that Miss Pavlova's eyes flickered over to before. You think this is a friend she's been talking about? Well, we're all different, aren't we? Whatever we might say about it, if that's the way she feels... I don't think I'll say anything about it then. You and the teapot can discuss it instead. Wait, that's not what I meant! Aww. Oh my god, that is absolutely the cutest thing ever. Ah, look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She's exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that caught my eye. Maybe we'd better take a closer look at this. That must be the stage costume she's wearing. It's quite stunning. I should like to have something like that. And she's wearing the 20,000 rubles on her head as well, look! It's called a tiara, Naruhodo-san, and you shouldn't think of it poorly in terms of its value. She must be a strong-willed woman, to turn her back on the world stage and run away all on her own. Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova's cuddling here. Oh, what a cute little kitten! It could buy with you, couldn't it, Naruhodo-san? For the blackest outfit. A black kitten. And from the look of this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it. Okay, it's clearly this, but I wanna see what she has to say about the written serpent. The more I look at this creature, the more its stripes stand out. It's a very impressive snake, isn't it? Oh yes, it really is. And it seems to be doing its best to squeeze the poor sailor's head until it bursts. Yes, it's a terrifying sight. And slightly heartwarming at the same time. Anyway, it would probably be a good idea not to get too close. There's no doubt, is there? She'll look in this direction, straight at Seaman Stroganoff. Well, they do seem to be friends of sorts, but I can't imagine how he could possibly fit through that ventilation. Yep. There goes my theory. Don't forget that I managed to fit inside Kazuma Strong when we first boarded the ship. I would ask what that proves, but I think a little smile would be more effective. Yeah, those arms are huge. Okay, let's go to the little kitten. Blah 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 blah.
Yes!
Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes! The scratch on the back of their hand makes that evident clear. Oh no! The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you even when you ran away, didn't you?
Ah! Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind.
Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band. Whereas, regrettably, these specimens marking do not fit the descriptions in any way. What explanations can we then give, pray? What was this? What explanation? What can we this, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's side last night?
No, don't look at me!
Ah, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary behind your back. Yes, that's which you're trying, but failing to conceal can only be the snake's sloughing skin.
Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back.
If she just left it in her pocket, no one would have ever known.
Oh yes, looks like that are Mr. Shum's specialty. He's a clever so forced to reveal something.
I thought deduction was his specialty. Or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. And I'm gonna need something. I throw this hurting a lot. And I actually... This is a lemon tea. I put some honeybee in here. I wonder if this actually helps as much as everybody says. My throat cannot get parched today. I still have tomorrow to work. This tea is absolutely amazing. You have no idea how delicious this is. I did not expect this. Okay. I need a second to get something to cook. Give me a second, please. BRB. Call me lazy, I ended up grabbing a banana. Okay. I thought deduction was his specialty. Or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too.
Anyway, I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake.
In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? Well, it's a speckle, and it is a band, but... what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy. Like a long piece of cloth of some sort. And that looks like a handle at one end. Oh!
I think it might be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently.
How is that a toy for cats?
Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it.
That sounds positively adorable. And it's actually a cat's toy. I can actually update what they have over here. Well, it is a speckle and a band, but blah 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 blah. Apparently we have the same.
Yes!
Yes! The thing you're trying but failing to conceal is a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the now infamous Speckle Band. And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You wave it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her fellow friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the Speckled Cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah! In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime is supplied some Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. A truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova? A photograph of Miss Pavlova and her friend, a kitten named Darka. The tiara she would wear on stage can also be seen. It was after I gave her her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she's so naughty. A beloved kitten. Now this is a question. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? And why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear that there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Yeah, we already know that it's not that. What Mr. Sholmes says it's true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma's body. That's right, but Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now.
Yes!
I didn't know that I could do this. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes. I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebra is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury's out. Anyway, we have now on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm this at the scene of the crime. Oh no, how could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something. Or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found though. Presumably Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him the fatal blow. I suppose. It's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes! A bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe it of Kazuma-sama though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? The mark on floor.
Yes!
Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible to the next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish.
Shoe polish?
Indeed, possibly identified by a ladle analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. Huh, that's actually quite advanced. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's lace leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped.
Please, no!
And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, cut his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebra shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life.
No!
Why is she worried? If this is what happens, it's an accident.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this.
Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the sign where Mr. Asogi lost his life?
Yes,
the facts are clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays you. Oh. Give me a second, please. Okay. Yes, this is exactly what I was telling you. Okay, let's keep on. But now, your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you choose.
I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama's merely tripped over and he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it.
I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that that's what happened. And if this part of Mr. Shom's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that could prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes.
Where, I wonder?
Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. Okay, let's see. This is where Miss Pavlova hit her friend.
That's right, and it wasn't a snake after all.
No, it was that little kitten she calls Darka. Not that it's anywhere to be seen now. It seems to have let itself out of the case and gone exploring. I expect it's wrapping itself around someone's head somewhere, trying to make a new friend. Either that or it's scratching their hands to pieces. The point is, where has it got to? Okay. Where is that trash can? There it is. This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all the first-class cabin have them. Sorry. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet. Oh wait! Was that bell there before? Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you.
Yes!
That's right, you hear the evidence that links you to the victims that are in that waste paper basket. Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. It's... Did he have his kitten on the arms and tried to protect it, and that's the reason he couldn't hang on to something? Oh! When the boat broke, Susato had to hang on to Ryunosuke. Precisely, we found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asugi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no! So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I don't know in that hushed Russian accent of yours. Won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell, that would be... Aww.
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up to with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent villain friend, Darka!
couldn't. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry.
But still, though, he had to have hit himself over something. Also, this is incredibly sad. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night.
It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands.
People do say cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments.
She was so fast. She disappeared to the ventilator before I could stop her.
And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it?
Yes. And I had read rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me.
Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really.
So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping.
So at that point you thought it safe to try to lure the kitten back again, by dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin.
Darka always loves toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return.
So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in this diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened.
Yes. So there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then...
that sounds horrible.
I nearly paused out with shock. I heard her cry out and then... it was such a dreadful pang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent.
Kazuma was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Buria is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurking when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards?
In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator.
Yet, Darka is nowhere to be seen.
I must have forgotten to look my case. And now she's disappeared again.
Gracious, that cat is as insufferable and restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least.
When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in cabin next door of mine had died. I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back.
Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right, where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it and where did it come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature throwing on board this ship? Oh, I didn't say.
Snake is my friend! His name is Piroshko! Piroshko! His name is Piroshko!
What?
What?
That snake belongs to you?
He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sound. Was looking for him.
I did not expect to find him in here.
Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board.
Ha! We're at sea for 1 year.
What?
You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands?
Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear poorly fellow, a gargantuan venom snake? Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in.
No venom. Piroshko does not have venom. He's harmless, very long, but very gentle. He's adorable like Granny.
It's venomless?
Yes, now he's hungry, in bad mood, but once I feed him you will see big smile.
And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose?
Ha! Like they say, milk chickens? Ridiculous.
But
snakes drink milk and only in stupid stories. Piroshko eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses.
ah, oh so is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for?
Of course. How else can catch a friend's favorite food?
Nothing sets top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. It refuses to drink milk. It can hear a whistle. It can climb up a bell cord. And it's not even venomous.
How the deuce did something train it land a starring role? It's not fault. I did not make mob stories. My Piroshko is nothing to do with this incident.
I like him. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. This is not a murder. That is so weird. But there's more, right? I mean, the freaking boat break. Miss Pavlova, I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. What? What are you talking about, Miss Mikotova? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed with everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events, an accident. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a key for knowing the truth. But even I can see, that was not the truth.
What?
Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Why? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't put my finger on it. I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh? I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Oh my god, I hate you! When did he do that? Especially there on your wrist as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours, was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owe him my freedom even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. Truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes! What we should ponder first. Is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Of course! I'm an idiot! I'm an idiot! This couldn't have been the whole truth because he wrote something! And in Russian, no less! It was in fact no accident at all. That is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed up into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Hold it! Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin, it's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident! Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. Yes! The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script is Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people wouldn't leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case. But maybe he was told in Russian. It's a simple language. We could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death! Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't have possibly written anything. Because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asagi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there, even if what Miss Pavlova told us was true.
What?
So, Susato-san has noticed it too, then. Putting these missions on the floor, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words... I am actually confused. I am actually confused. I'm gonna go for the glass object.
Yes!
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor.
But that's the glass belt the kitten had around its neck.
We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there is a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell... Oh, that's true. Oh! Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in the waste paper basket? Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no! Both these pieces of evidence clearly point out to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And the same person deliberately arranged his scene to disguise the truth. In other words, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. No! Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's.
Hold it! You are wasting time! Someone else who was there? Yeah, of course, we know this!
What are you talking about?
Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out.
Oh, yes.
And
only other person in cabin when young student died was you!
Yes!
It's true, I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian! There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. In an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asgay really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours in the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would have barely cast any light on the floor there. Little wonder, then, that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? Seaman Stroganoff!
Nina is woman of sea. She's daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, member of ship band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal.
Ah, so that's it.
You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I gave my tooth.
Well, this is almost interesting. And why would you keep your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure?
You're a great detective, you should know. Look through the eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go in cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you.
My throat has given up.
Or you. Whoa. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Neat. It's impossible.
He's right.
But wait! I read about this in detective stories. People often tie threads around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside.
Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors.
Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap inside, no threads or needles or magnets could have been used.
No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so...
Susato-san, how could you shift it into me like that? So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily.
What?
I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see traces of the method I have in mind having been used before.
I don't believe it!
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes.
Do you really know what Mr. Shums means, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, and so should you, because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across the door. This is not actually that hard.
Yes!
Look at the boat case here. They all the books and things on net have toppled over?
That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before.
Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over.
I believe... yes. It's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects.
Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books in the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance! Oh, that sounds like...
Inspector Hosonaga! Oh yes! That's it! When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door.
Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of inertia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night? Inertia, you moron. Are you trying to say that last night after Misaki was killed? And... there it is. The SS Buria made another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hands across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over.
Ah yes, I remember that! And I stood them all up again, didn't I?
Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asugi's cabin.
Oh my!
Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of mind? You say Buria made the emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm.
Oh, yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to press the button in times of emergency.
On dark nights, when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait! It was you?! When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of the safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete full stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today.
Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who...
As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed! I knew it! Whatever education. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship! I reported to Captain, you are in much trouble now! Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin's doors slide closed. So what we must now consider
Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You're idiots! Buri is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop, even in the middle of night, there will be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Nerukoto? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea.
Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo?
Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency cripple gripped this vessel last night? The ship's lock.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. It's your duty to patrol the first class area of the ship, isn't that right?
That is correct. Why?
And the ship's locked here. This would be where you record the details of your duties?
What are you doing with that? That is mine!
Ah. You rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift burial in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later.
I left her there on purpose! That is what it's always!
The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log?
That is... Stop! Because nothing happened!
But if nothing happened, you would normally write "nothing to report", wouldn't you? Oh. Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 AM, something happened here aboard the SS Buria. Buria! Oh my god! Buria! Buria! Oh my... Oh no. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish!
If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Huh? Why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us wouldn't have noticed.
That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of the night.
Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing? Sorry? What do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Oh, yes, I've had a headache. You're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today.
Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavier since dawn.
Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right, my head's been throbbing today too. And since either yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Nerukodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. The store class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the thing didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you?
Mr. Shums, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken?
I do.
No! Really? Is that really true?
The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Wait.
This is evolving. Everything was okay. And it kinda made sense. She just wanted to protect, I don't know, the fact that the cat was there or something. But why did the chicken get them? Kazuma was awake. Only he was awake. Everybody else was dizzy, had a headache. They forgot the emergency stop. But Kazuma didn't eat that thing. Somebody was going around stealing stuff. Or going for something. They all got... as a matter of fact, the fact that Kazuma doesn't like chicken means that even if it was some kind of poison, it wouldn't have found in his body because he was the only one who didn't take it. But then why? Okay.
Tamper with the addition of saporic, designed to induce a very slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug, so no one noticed the ship's emergency stop?
Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Shop means. That's what a far-fetched idea.
Precisely. Placing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What?
Mr. Shums!
They helped her! Oh my god! They stopped the ship to get her on it! Okay.
Well, Seaman? I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there will have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade.
Please, no more. I will tell everything. I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore.
These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe.
Yes, so when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me.
We all agreed to help. Everyone together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet. Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drunk in chicken last night.
Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point.
Ah, we could not make all drunk. How do you say dissolve?
Talk about Hibis.
At midnight in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was held by Conrad on shore with small fishing boat,
while all the passengers on the SS Buria slept soundly. Buria, yeah, that's the name, what the heck. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So, if that's what happened... The only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who dislike chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. If she's newly boarded, how the heck are the guy couldn't have escaped immediately? That means it would have been impossible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. Well, how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Ah, of course. Just like all of the other passengers would have been eating their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Right, and accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. The overwhelming majority of passengers would have habitually slept with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of the single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning.
You have talked long time and said many things. What is point?
The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But I didn't know about any of this. I'm just a little girl.
You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long body stories, don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes.
A laudable trait.
What?
I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruto. Oh, yes? Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind. What accusatory cry of what guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction.
What are you talking about?
I believe the time has come. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. So, Mr. Naruto, to your assistance if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Jones? With observation, my dear fellow. Just as I said, of these two prevaricators... Observation? If you remember, Mr. Naruto,
We know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of a Mr. Asogi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely. You're delightful, quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. He has arms like tree trunks, doesn't he? Hairy tree trunks. Yes, he certainly has sailor arms. He's a born man of the sea. Even if I had been awake, I couldn't have done anything about being dragged out of that water by this man. Naruhodo-san? Are you alright? You seem to be lost in thought. Oh, sorry. Blame those hairy tree trunks. What? Why? Have you noticed something significant about Seaman Stroganov's hat? Huh? Oh, no, sadly not. I'm just thinking that if only we'd found it in Kazuma's cabin, it would all be too easy. That's true. A fat drop at the scene would have been very conclusive evidence. Ah, that's the point! I'm sure I saw your university uniform hat at the scene somewhere. That is not a point! At least not one I'd like you to make. She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells. Huh? What's that? There's something dangling down from her ear. El otro. The other earring! The other earring! I can't believe this. That's an earring! The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to love adornments like... I'm pretty sure that this is the same, this is the same. Blah 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 blah. Let's see if it's the same. Oh, Stroganov, what are you doing? Oh, look at this! It's some kind of stain in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink if I'm not mistaken. Ink. Look at the color too. It's clear where this came from.
Yes! Yes!
Seaman Stroganov, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform here.
Yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from.
So nothing in particular comes to mind about this thing.
What are you trying to say?
It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It is a very large purple stain on the back of the Seaman Stroganov uniform, and I think what made it clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it, sir. My pleasure. Alright then. The evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov uniform really is...
Yes! Yes!
Yes! Is this photograph, and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather initial color of ink, purple. Ah, the penny drops. At last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink, exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform that way. Which means... you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilled.
Alright, yes. It was me, I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in that student cabin to make seem like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Buria do the emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one suspect or Angel.
Beef, please.
Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then our Angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Beef, please, you must help me.
Went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. What happened here?
Please, don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend.
Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told ya. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogin's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor? Yes, that is right. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to her? Only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling. That's when she went to look. Oh, Angel? Door was not locked. So she opened to look and you already know what happened after.
There's just one thing if you wouldn't mind.
What?
When you went to Mr. Asogin's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why?
I already told ya! When Nina opened door of student's cabin and looked inside,
I was asking Miss Pavlova.
well, Miss Pavlova?
Yeah. Oh. Yes. That is right. I saw him. It was dark. And he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand. And I believe you. So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last?
Something very neatly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. What do you mean unnatural? What are you talking about, Mr. Naruhodo? Huh? Oh, well... If Kazuma tripped and fell and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of the photographic print seems unnatural?
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one thing is to open the palms flat. Yet, here we see the victim with his left hand tightly holding the fist. Almost, you may say. As though he was gripping something. What do you mean?
Simply that I took the liberty of investigating this victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there? My dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please! Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? This is what I found. Crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle? Yes, you're right, a crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us?
It tells us nothing!
I'm not so sure.
Crescent moon looks... It looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Observation, Mr. Nervolo. That is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizing close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe. Find the answer with your own eyes.
Yes! Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear, even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding it must have broken, I suppose.
Ah? What?
But looking at your other ear, I noticed a crescent moon.
Ah! I don't believe it!
Now, the missing crescent moon was found in a victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there is one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asaki must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just a moment before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night in Mr. Asaki's cabin, you witnessed the moment the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asaki do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no! Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Mr. Pavlova,
Tell us the truth, last night, what did you do to Kazuma? When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in middle of night, trying to climb into Shio's ship. And then, when was at the last cabin and could relax after this horrible long day. Narka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toys, but nothing worked. Narka would not come back. What are you doing here at this time of night, What are you doing at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Arca. He promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin.
Just a moment. Sorry, but...
Oh, yes?
I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina.
No! I don't know the name! My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the Far West East know a Russian ballerina?
Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on the ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment.
I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth. I hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice.
I see. So you've run away.
Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone.
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait! I shouted, and then Arca jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet, and as he turned around to look at me, I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me.
And that's when you went to fetch help? From Seaman Stroganoff who was on duty out on the passageway? I heard Nina cry out and todd on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin's door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said,
"Let me be. If they find out, I will be. Please, I have nowhere to go."
So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into cabin and looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And I found Stowaway in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right. That's when he found me.
So you work out a plan to lay the blame on the Stowaway.
I closed wardrobe rooms and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Suseto-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote Tapabo, so the person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find Stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell?
It was by my feet, so I picked it up.
I see.
But it was dark in cabin. I didn't notice the other half.
Then Angel went back to her cabin, and I finished job by pressing the alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Buria did indeed come to an emergency halt at a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the reluctant mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. And it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Inspector Hosonaga! He said an inspector was his friend. Oh, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that if police knew about me, they arrest me. So before he could pull bell cord, I... May I stop you for a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can know for certain, but... He was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No! He was walking over to it! He was going to pull the cord! He was going to make them send me back! Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There is one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes. What action was the victim really about to take at the moment? And we determine whether the young man's case was directed? It's very easy. First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of the room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot in that wardrobe, but still. That cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama? Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. If there's one thing I've learned today, is that a simple gaze can reveal all matter of truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at? The bell cord. To Miss Pavlova, he was just coldly ignoring her request and going to pull the cord, but the Kazuma I knew would never have done something like that. No, I'm sure of it. His bed. I remember him being annoying about the pillow. He said it was too thin. Then he put that big, thick book of Japanese law underneath, in fact. Perhaps he was thinking of looking something up. Either that, or talking to Miss Pavlova made him I got an achievement! Or talking to Miss Pavlova made him acutely tired. It's not hard at all. The wardrobe. My wardrobe. I wasn't there at the time, of course. Sleeping soundly. Too soundly. If only I hadn't eaten that chicken that was laced with a sleeping drug. If only he'd woken me up. Then maybe this tragedy would never have happened.
Take that!
Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however... What is directly beside the Belcourt? The wardrobe.
The wardrobe.
And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly.
Miss Pavlova, please. Think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asuki's exact words last night?
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
Another opinion?
Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Nsogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt.
No. Sadly, we can know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asuki was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had.
Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that.
I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done?
Oh my god! This finally makes sense. And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Buria was finally laid to rest. I'm angry. I'm very angry. What will happen with Miss Pavlova now? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's an exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganoff? I wanted to help arrange you, no matter what. But I didn't think about you, about how you lost your good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but... well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Duh! Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes. I did stow away after all. I really couldn't expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. It looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it's even begun then. To think that only days ago Kazuma and I were laughing about how we'd tear up the street of Slaughter to get together. It seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it Someone weeping? Oh god, no. Sato-san?
Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned.
Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack, you know. Ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that.
I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone nice can be over. Just like that.
Sato-san. Is this animated? It's not.
We had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much.
Yes, I know.
I wish there was something I could say.
Oh, I wish there was something I could say.
Inspector,
My duty was to see Asoki-san safely to Great Britain. But I failed you, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible problem. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again. And now what? Surprise, Mr. Naruto! What is the meaning of this?
oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I should always picture you wearing the shackles. Without them, the balance seems so wrong. It's distracting.
Sorry?
So I decided to restore them.
For old time's sake, shall we say, you are a stoic after all. He thinks this is funny?
Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heart-rending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute! It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was a stowaway! The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no, I don't care for me. Oh no, I don't care for me, but... for Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be little value of in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time.
ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Miss Usato? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruto. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I say, there's still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruto? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruto? That's ridiculous! Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out! I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Would you let me try? And if by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma, he said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just have gone to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. There's a line here. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Usato? I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So, what does our respectable Inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, this is madness! Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are the dual rooting of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination! Speak for yourself! Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector! If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarter, I think. I need to discuss what to do next, how best to make my report. What a mess. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruto? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer. I'm talking in my Sherlock's accent with this. Kinda tired. I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take the charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asogi clan for generations. Very well. I accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Mr. Sato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. And we shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. 3 times!
Because she threw me 3 times to the ground.
What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock! You just found out about me stowing away, and No, I won't let you make excuses for me! Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you, and not just once, but 5 times!
Whoa, she counted them?
That number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must! Just take a hold of me and throw me, do it! Don't even think about it! No, I don't even know how, I've never thrown anyone in my life! Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a skill one acquires with a considerable training. Oh, Mr. Jones! I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. When did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling? Judo! Well, yeah, in a way. It's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique.
Jujutsu, okay. Apparently it's called the Susanoo takedown. It leaves your head swimming, I believe.
I'll be willing. I'm a practitioner of the combat craft myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw. Yes, I'd be honored. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. No. Oh, of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry?
I knew it.
As you can see, you throw from the abdomen.
Oh yes, arresting indeed. And that is what you learned from that Susanoo takedown, isn't it? Are you kidding me?
Actually, no, that was a Susanoo squash. Oh my god. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. Karuma? I'm gonna take a queen's take on this. That's right! It's a prize sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a literal regular, surely. A Japanese man's sword is his soul. Ryunosuke! I can be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So it's Nam called Pale its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would need such compelling on that subject.
there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do. I still don't know what that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. Wow! This is incredibly surprising. This is the first time ever a mainstay game in the series has a case that doesn't even touch court. Not an Ace Attorney Investigations, an Ace Attorney game that doesn't touch the court. And I'm absolutely surprised about this. I was waiting for the... Wow. Okay. Okay, it's almost 12 o'clock. I finished the second episode. This was very, very fun. And the next time, we will be going into the adventure of the runaway room. I hope there's court. I love going to court in this series. But for now, I think that's everything for today. Thank you for joining me. I guess I'll keep sharing my experiences next time. For now, good night, everybody. Gonna put this one here. I hope you enjoy the show. Also, I'm gonna send you somewhere else.